Good morning all. In previous lecture we had discussed with the parasitism. Okay, along with that you can write, no problem at all. Now for predation. Here plus and minus you know that in the predation the prey is killed and the predator animal got the benefit. Here only one difference is there between the predation and parasitism is that in parasitism the host organism cannot be killed by parasitic organisms. Gradually, parasitic organism harm the host organism, but in predation, the one animal that is prey got harmed or it is killed, and then predator animal got the benefit from it. So actually when we think about the predation, only we think about that tiger kill the deer. That is one type of the example of the predation only. But in textbook there are so many examples are given there. For example, seed eating birds. Herbivorous animals are also predators. Herbivorous animals are also predators. So here so many examples are there. So in predation, the predator animal got the benefit and prey got the harm. Fine. Here, predators acting as a pundits. So you know that actually we have not learned with the ecosystem chapter. That is 14th chapter, ecosystem. It is skipped from the syllabus. But in 10th standard, you had learned with the ecosystem that in ecosystem each and every trophic level is there. Each and every trophic level. If you think about any ecosystem, it is always starts from the autotrophs. Suppose if you are thinking about the aquatic habitat, then phytoplanktons are there. If you think about the terrestrial habitat, terrestrial autotrophs, trees, herbs, shrubs, algae are there. So in each and every ecosystem, each and every trophic level is there. So basically you know that autotrophs means we say that it is producers. Fine. Then herbivorous, then carnivorous, then omnivorous. Yes, in 14th chapter, we are not studied with that, but Mr. X eat curd. Mr. X, no particular name is given there. Mr. X eat curd, dahi khai છે. So we put this Mr. X at which tropic level? So at the 4th tropic level. What is the 4th tropic level? So first tropic level is producers, then second is herbivores. Herbivores are nothing but the primary consumers. Producers are autotrophs. They form their food by themselves. First is herbivores, so these are known as primary consumers. Then carnivores are known as secondary consumers. And the next is omnivores. Omnivores known as tertiary consumer, in consumer at the 3rd level, but in trophic level at the 4th level. Then after the omnivores, higher stage carnivores are there. Fine. So in this way, the trophic level, so predators acting as a conduits to transfer the energy in the next trophic level. You know that thermodynamics first law, we can't create the energy or we can't destroy the energy, but energy is converted from the one form to another form. But during conversion of the energy from the one form to another form, the energy is lost in the form of heat. This is known as thermodynamics second law. And according to the thermodynamics second law, at each and every trophic level, the energy is lost in the form of heat. Just for example, producers have much more amount of the energy. Out of that, very little bit amount of the energy is transferred to the herbivores. Okay, 90% energy is lost in the form of heat. 90%. Just for example, in producers, 100% energy is there. So in herbivores, only 10% energy is transferred. Remaining 90% energy is lost in the form of heat. Again, if we are thinking about the herbivores, in herbivores 10% energy is there. So in carnivores they obtain only 1% energy. So 10 to 1, that is also 90%. So at each and every trophic level we say that 90% energy is lost in the form of heat, and organism obtain very little bit amount of the energy. Okay, so here this is the meaning of this question. And predators control the population. Predation is necessary here. Suppose if we are thinking about, we had discussed that biodiversity and its conservation. Suppose we have the number of the ant species, out of that 2 to 3,000 species are destroyed. So if this number of species of ants are destroyed, then what happened to the ecosystem? We think about that there is no any function of the ants in our ecosystem, but ants are directly or indirectly connected to each and every organism. Right? So it maintains the population, prey under the control. Fine. Now, other examples are given there. previously I had asked the question that if all the plants on the earth will die, all the plants on the earth will die, so all the animals will die. And I have given that options. Fine. That options are A, due to lack of oxygen, B, due to lack of food, C, and the both, and the none of this. So what we have the answer? Due to lack of oxygen. Why? Here see, read the sentence. If the predators are too efficient, so it overexploits its prey. Yes, you know that. Causes for habitat loss. Causes of habitat loss. Evil Quartet, if you have remembered. Evil Quartet. 4 factors are responsible for loss of the habitat. First is habitat loss, natural habitat loss. Second, over exploitation. Third, alien species introduction. And fourth is coexistence. Coextinction, sorry. Coextinction word is there. So, over exploitation means animalsની ઉપર બહુ જ predators survive કરાવે છે on the prey. As a result, suppose I have given the one example to you. If you have remember in the NCERT lecture, if just I am asking the one sentence only, that if the lion species increases, if lion species increases, so what you are think about? So you will immediately think about that, sir, if lion species increases, so herbivorous species decreases rapidly. But if it is carried on, then at one time so what happened? Over exploitation of the prey leads to loss of the species of the herbivorous also. So now what predators do? Depends on the other animals also. And at one time what happened? They cannot obtain the food. As a result, due to lack of the food, they will also extinct. As a result, predators are very prudent, means very clever. So they prevent the over-exploitation. Yes, they maintain the number of the prey, but they cannot over-exploit that. Allow them to increase in the number of their species, and then they will attack over them. Fine. So the prudent, that is clever word. And you know that monarch butterfly, to prevent the predation, some organism create the special odor containing chemicals. And you know that monarch butterfly, okay, so predators cannot eat them due to no taste. Yes, fine, bad taste. Herbivores are also predators. Predators are not only animals, but predators are also plants. Yes, insectivorous and insectivorous plants are also predators. Insectivorous plants are also predators. And as you know Actually, in the 11th standard, the 5th chapter is skipped, but we had very nicely done that 11th standard with NEET as well as NCERT. Very satisfactory we had got the each and every information. Fine. Insectivorous plants eat the insects to obtain the nitrogen components. You know, insectivorous animals eat the insectivorous plants eat the insects to obtain the nitrogen containing components, and that's why nitrogen deficient soil in that these plants are easily cultivated. And you know that the plants require N, P and K to maintain their life. Without this, yes, these are primary mineral nutrients. Primary nutrients. And secondary nutrients are little bit amount present in the soil. So plant require as this component in a very less amount. But without N, P and K, plants are unable to survive their life. Nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. Right? So insectivorous plants are also one type of predators. So remember, herbivorous are predators, thorns. Some plants produce the thorns to prevent the predation. Okay? So yes, goat and camel. Goat and camel, these two animals can eat the cactus easily because they have adaptation to eat the thorny plants easily. They have that type of the mechanism. Acacia, cactus or thorny plants. Fine. So these plants produce the thorns to prevent the predation. And some plants produce such type of the chemicals. Just for example, Calotropis. Akro. Calotropis, from its branch and leaf, the white latex comes out. And this white latex consists cardiac glycosides. And these cardiac glycosides are very, very harmful for the predatory animals. And that's why you have never seen that any type of the animal can eat the Calotropis. And I told to you in this chapter's lecture that if the latex from this Calotropis enter inside our eye, we are blind. Fine. So this is very, very poisonous one. Some plants produce other drugs also. Suppose example nicotine. Suppose example opium. Some fungi obtain LSD. So these plants cannot obtain any type of predatory predation. Fine. So this is an example of this. So predation in that so many examples are there. Not much more important points. Fine. But you think about that animals eat the animals. Animals eat the plants. Plants eat the animals also. These all are the examples. Yes, plant eat the plant also. Suppose example, yes, actually parasitism and predation. But if the one plant obtain the nourishment from the another plant, fine. So you have to think about that example. But remember that here plus minus relationship. That's all about. Fine. Now the next topic, amensalism. the relation is -0. One species got the harm, another species cannot got any type of harm or benefit, neutral one. So here in the commensalism, we will give the example. Penicillium notatum fungi and the gram bacteria. Yes, as you know, the Penicillium fungi produce the penicillin named antibiotic drug, and this antibiotic drug can kill the gram bacteria. So here gram bacteria got the harm, but Penicillium fungi and not what the harm or not what the benefit. So here this is the 0 minus relationship. Fine. Now competition. Actually, in competition, at so many places, plus plus relation is given. Sir, we are confused. Plus plus relationship is for mutualism, and now here you are saying that here plus plus relationship, how it is possible in competition? But statement is different. What is the statement for mutualism? Both the species got benefit from each other without harm to everyone. The two species got the benefit without harm to each other. Fine. But here, what is the meaning of the competition? In competition, both the species got the harm. Both the species got the harm. Here why harm is given there minus minus. Here in competition both the species got the benefit also. But one species got the benefit by harm to the another species, if you understand this statement. One species got the benefit by harm to other species, and other species also get the benefit to harm to the another species. But here, compared to benefit, loss is much more. Compared to benefit, loss is much more here. Yes, both the species got the harm, but by both the species got the benefit, but by harm to each other. In competition, no one got the loss. કોઈને લોસ નહીં થાય એવું નહીં બને, કોઈને પ્રોફિટ થાય એવું નહીં બને. પણ તમે કોમ્પિટિશનમાં ફિક્સ નહીં કહી શકો કે આવું જ થશે. But in competition, compared to the loss, benefit is less, and that's why here the sign is given there minus minus. And somewhere else, if the competition in that plus plus is given there, so at that place you understand that in competition plus plus is right, but this plus plus is related to minus minus. This plus plus is related to minus minus. And here you know that competition is of two types. Interspecific interspecific means between the two species of interspecific means between the two individual of the two different species. That is interspecific. Intraspecific means between the two individual of the same species. Can you got this word? Interspecific means between the two different individual of two different species. That is interspecific. Fine. Interspecific means here the two individuals, here the two different individuals of two different species. And intra-specific means between the two different individuals of the same species. Here, which competition is severe? Intraspecific. Why? Here need is same, requirement is same, source is same. So for particular one source, the competition is very severe. And some organisms are competitive inhibitors. Some organism can prevent the competition to prevent the loss. Yes. Suppose, for example, if one carnivorous animal predate the any prey. So initially what happened? All the carnivorous animal can eat it. After obtain the proper nourishment, they leave its dead body and go away from that region. Now another predators came and they obtain the nourishment from it. They also leave its dead body and go away from that region. And at last what happened? The higher stage carnivores came to that region. And last, you know, the decomposers are remaining there. Okay. So if the two predators simultaneously meet at the one time, so actually dead bodies is in the sideways, but two predators can compete with each other to obtain the nourishment from this dead body. Fine. So here these are known as competitive inhibitors. Some animals can inhibit the competition, some animals can escape the competition. They got predation. They got predation at different time, right, to prevent the competition. So here barnacles, I have given the so many examples for this. Barnacles compete with each other for rocks. In laboratory, in petri dish, two Paramecium species are cultivated, Paramecium aurelia and Paramecium quadratum. Okay, I have given that one example there. So again I can give this example. So barnacles compete with each other to obtain the habitat on the rocks in the same cultural medium. The two different species of the Paramecium, that is Paramecium quadratum and Paramecium aurelia, compete with each other for nourishment. Fine. Now you know that Abingdon tortoise, have you remembered this sentence? On the Galapagos Island, Abingdon tortoise was extincted within 1 decade due to introduction of the goat. And goats had much more grazing capacity than the tortoise. So here, if you enter any type of the alien species in any habitat, the existing organism, that is existing species live in that area, also compete with this introductory species. Fine. So the best example is given there. On Galapagos Island, the Abingdon tortoise was extincted within the 1 decade due to introductory species of the goat and more grazing capacity. That type of the sentence is given here. Now you know that Gauss principle. What is the Gauss principle? Gauss principle states that if you introduce any type of the foreign organism or any type of the alien species in the particular habitat, existing species will be died, will be extincted soon. But it is not true in all cases. Fine. So that is Gauss principle. So you remember that also. Kennel's Elegant field experiments showed that on the rocky sea coast of the Scotland, the large and competitively superior, fine, the large and competitively superior Balanus barnacle. Barnacle balanus, it is superior and larger one. It is dominant in that region and exclude the smaller species of the barnacle known as Cathamelus from that zone. So competition occurred between the two species of the barnacles on the rocky area. Fine. So this barnacle balanus become dominant over that region, and Cathamelus is excluded from that region. Gauss principle, Gauss competitive exclusion principle, resource partitioning, MacArthur warblers, by species live on the plant. Okay, so these all information are given there in the textbook. Fine. Along with that, the one more important point, interspecific competition has potent force for evolution. Okay, so between the two species competition occurs. It is the main reason for the evolution. So here competition is over. Next thing we will discuss in the next lecture. Fine. Here I can stop now.